So very, very keen to see what they can do. Bleedouts, I think, are going to have an uphill battle, and it also does show in the tipping as well. So we'll have to see how they go there. But very excited to see what JD can pull off. We are jumping into Wolf form, the undisputed best form, and see if we can get some good chase value early on. Looks like we do see our survivors who have actually stealthed down. Sky was stealthing all the way at 12 there, and Lucky will be taking the first chase. No, actually, no, we decided to opt away. We don't want to chase 12. It looks like we're going to choose for Corrupt instead. We might be looking for this other survivor who was on the Shack Gen, but looks like we are going to take our first chase onto Mia, who's first game of the tournament.
Okay, we get a really quick hit onto Mia too. That's going to be a huge boon for JD there. But he gets a hook, just like an M1 in war form, so he still has the pounds charge, but unfortunately messing up his bad form and transforming behind the wrong side of the pallet. So he is kind of forced to break that as his power went on cooldown, but going back into bad form, he floats on over to Mia, tries to get it down here. Now, Mia is out of full land, and that Hellfire is going to sting real bad, and a really quick down, all things considered, for JD. This is going to put him in a really good position here, but keep in mind that in OSL for this season, Dark Ward is on the STS balancing, so JD's going to have to play around things like Decisive Strike and Deliverance and all these really strong high-tier perks that you don't see on other tiers. You really only see that on things like Blight and Nurse, but Dark Ward, a very formidable killer. Dracula, I should probably say. He's very, very competent, and we can see JD as well. He's very comfortable on this killer, sort of floating around his bat bomb, getting his eruptions. Once he does that, he might try and get a free hit. He tags, I think that's like 3 different gens with eruption. We see our Deli play coming in for a nice early pull, getting the deliverance real quick, smart, but JD not really close enough to the hook there to capitalize on either a trade or anything, so he's going to have to try and track down Mia, but Wolfform will assist in that as you leave those sand orbs behind when you're running. But we find Mia basically immediately. I don't know if Mia is a DS player or not, but with a bit of a TP there, we do apply the Lapis Lazuli window block to that window, but we're just taking the chase with the Mia, trying to get our tunnel out here, but no, this is not our DS player. This is our FTP player. That's not who you want getting tunneled down. I think with a quick wolf form here, we're going to see a really quick down, but no! A fantastic juke from Mia, extending this chase for a much longer time. This will be enough to get the first gen done, which is a fantastic boon for Renewal, as that first down was really quick, but Mia doing a fantastic job keeping this chase alive here, and just barely missing that Hellfire. That was nearly a bit of a yikes moment for Renewal, but no, we might even be able to see this other gen get done in the background, but I don't think we make any pallets here. This might just be a very comfortable M1, and it is! We see the eruption coming through on those 2 gens, Starzy.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic chase by Mia. Was able to have really quick reaction times as well, especially with being on ping. It can be a little bit difficult, but Mia was able to clutch up then. And of course, we have our Deli build who has set up for the late game. So it was a really nice timed hook pull by Sky as well, being able to slide straight into 11. The early stealth really pays off, and it looks like they actually might be taking the first chase, but no, we are going to be screening ourselves back towards the 2 side of the map, and that's going to be an SB actually that's used there a little bit early. Unfortunately, we don't have FTP. This is pretty much the one build you don't want getting tunneled. You know, Deli and FTP are both pretty equally bad. Unfortunately, the FTP gives you no options for resets whatsoever, so we're going to be seeing Mia will take the final chase of their life, most likely, unless they go for an absolute juicer and force them away. But this is going to be a very nice death start. Oh no! Oh, I was a bit worried there. We had the time, but we did. We do have access to light here as well. Going to do an early wolf form, and we're going to get away with it as well, as we hear the break coming in the background. We are going to put ourselves towards the 4 side of the map, and we are running pretty much away from most of the actives. So this is actually a really nice spot to be. I assume we might have made a call onto the Wretched as well, as we just go straight through this pallet. This is the broken bus. It's not exactly the best loot, but we're making a lot of use out of it, and we're putting ourselves bit of an awkward position, but it doesn't matter because we're actually going to screen ourselves away, and Mia playing very, very well here will finally be taking the down. But for how weak that area was doing extremely, extremely well, and we see this double gen does finally get popped in the background. Sky going to be slowly stealthing up to what I would assume is the 2 gen, and we'll see a reset on the 9 side of the map as well. So survivors are still getting a lot of progress done in the background. This is going to be Mia out of the game, but a very strong first showing for Mia. And also we do have a pretty reasonable 3 gen. I think we have 2 Shack, and I think we had somewhere near 12, and we found the reset as well, but just a little bit too late.
Yeah, we do find that reset just a little bit too late. We get the hit onto Dog. We're taking the chase onto Dog, who is a Wretched Fate player, so not getting a ton of value here. We see a Firecracker coming through, trying to maybe get a blind onto JD and buy a bit of distance, but JD keeping an eye onto Dog here, and we do see Wretched Fate popping in the background. We're doing a bit of Pub Dracula play where we just hold our Hellfire and then eventually miss it after 10 years, but I think we still get the M1 onto Dog here. We know someone is working that Shack Gen. We see two people, I think. I think that's Sky on the Tory Cane. This is our Sprint Burst player, so we are in a position for a power save. We apply our, what might have been a little bit of pop left onto that generator, but we're going for the pickup, and this will be a Sprint Burst power save coming through onto JD. Do we get it? We do get it! And that's a huge boon for Renewal as we're immediately back onto that gen here, and JD is forced to take the chase back onto Dog. No, we see a teleport elsewhere there as we're going bat form and trying to find whoever got that power save, which was Sky lurking and stalking around here. Sky is our Deli player, so not the best chase to be taking in this 1v3 situation. Our gens are somewhat close together. We see our champion light fixated balance player here lurking around a 4 lane, but JD having no luck finding anyone. Maybe he should have just committed to Dog instead and gotten that down. Dog is our dead hard DS player as well, so even if we do get this down the hook, if he tries to get another chase onto Dog, it's going to be very difficult. But we're playing around this edge map tile here, very far away, but unfortunately not quite getting that power stun that we wanted. But we do go down very deep into the map, so this is going to be huge for the survivors of Renewal, as this buys me a ton of time to sort of work around the generators here. And I think we got a bit of a spectator bug there, which was a shame on that pickup with Dracula, but we see the hook onto Dog. That form, though, is a huge movement ability that allows us to just traverse the map so easily with that teleport, as well as the general movement speed buff, but not a ton of progress in any of these generators. We see a very quick save onto Dog. Going to be applying our Pop Rupture to this generator here by this rock, and not finding Lucky Boy here as we do go into Wolf mode, maybe trying to find any scent orbs or anything, but if you're walking around, you don't leave any scent orbs, so we should see a successful stealth here from Lucky Boy as a very quick reset comes through onto Dog.
Yeah, and you know, just watching from before, the 3v1 being played very well from our survivors, but man, Sky is absolutely on the money, and I am not remotely surprised. Came in for the pallet save. This is on ping, by the way, so it's already going to make it a little bit more difficult. Great deli placements, great stealth. Sky is just absolutely on fire this game. You might see someone in the background and think, oh, maybe they're not doing too much, but the utility means everything, and we will be taking the next chase. Actually, no, we won't. We're going to screen away. We saw Sky. We didn't want to get involved, and that's absolutely fair enough. We'll be heading back up towards mid, as it looks like we're going to be doubling Shack with Dog up the top side. I'm sorry, this is definitely not Dog. This is Lucky Boy up the top side, and we go for a bit of a double dash here, but no, unfortunately, we miss it, and that's going to buy us a bit of time. I think we'll be able to make this vault as well. But we actually go for the long side. Lucky will be taking a hit and going down towards 9. See if we can extend this chase. It's going to be very difficult, but we do drop a pretty decent filly here, which will buy us a little bit of time and actually get us towards 9 fully. So it looks like we are going to be seeing Lucky head back up, and Sky tried to do a bit of a sneaky stealth there. Unfortunately, didn't end up working out, but we have a pretty decent setup down here that we will be able to use, and it doesn't matter because we're not going to continue to chase again. We might be seeing a reset from Lucky, as he was near the 9 side. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we start looking around 9 for the reset if we see it early. But we do find Sky, who will be going down towards the bottom of the map, and we take a down near the edge map. But this is going to be our deli player, so the survivors in the background will be able to continue working. But our Dracula is doing a very good job of keeping the gen pressure pretty high here. Of course, we've got Shack that's sitting at about 50 right now, but JD doing a very good job keeping it low, keeping it reasonable. But no, that's going to be our last kick. Shack's going to be a huge problem from now on. This is going to be your... Oh, no, I completely lied. He just wanted eruption, I think. Okay.
He didn't get it.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I was about to say, it didn't look like he actually got it. But I think that there is actually going to be our last pick. So very unfortunate for JD. Going to have to put the pressure on.
Yeah, I think once you see that generator have those spikes permanently appearing around it, I think you're down to your last 2 kicks on that generator, or like 1 or 2 kicks. But we do find the Lucky Boy here in the stealth, but he doesn't have sprint burst or anything, so he's going to be really quick down. That's unfortunate that he got found there, but I think the blood might have just given him away. JD opting not to hook, instead rotating back over to this Shack generator that is pretty high progress here. This Dog with a great stealth, but we're looking for Sky, I believe, and trying to get another hook onto Sky, potentially. But we do find him here. He doesn't have a ton of resources. We're going for the Dog form. Oh, a nice little dodge there from Sky, though. Barely get missing the Dog form there, but with no resources towards the side of the map, we're just going to be eating dirt, unfortunately. And we got 2 on the floor, I believe. Lucky Boy was out unbreakable, so we do see that coming through here. Dog likely still trying to work this generator and probably just walking around Shack somewhere. And JD none the wiser, unless he's just found him, but we don't see the chase coming through here. But No, Dog doing a little bit of a stealth. JD doing a really good job of playing the long game here, putting a lot of pressure on these survivors in the 3v1, and the survivors honestly doing the same. Playing really well around the fact that JD is sort of just going for pressure here, and we see that last eruption proc come through on that generator. I think that generator has been kicked to death by now. That should be the final nail on the comp for the gen, and I think JD has just sort of decided, okay, we're just going to play around slugs, let's get the downs, let's go for a down onto Sky, and then see if we can find Dog again. Dog is our dead hard player as well, so we do have to play around dead hard, but JD's done a really good job of playing this long game here, and it's sort of ground to a halt, and he's playing so much pressure on the survivors that I do wonder if Dog is maybe just walking that shack gen, not even bothering picking up Lucky Boy in the background there. But we break that edge map out as we continue our chase onto Sky, who is running over to, I believe, a full line. JD dashing into Narnia. We do have a pallet here at this weird hybrid jungle gym. We're able to make that bus fall, but we get hit with the Hellfire. That might have been a bit of an SEA ping as he's quite a fair distance away from that window. Dog having a grand old time behind a rock over here. JD, I think, maybe trying to look for Lucky Boy here, who was picked up. We do see Lucky Boy once again, very likely getting slugged here, but missing the dog dash, buying a little bit more time as he runs around this rock. But he will just be getting slugged, I dare say, at 12, unless JD wants to go for the hook. But no, he is very content on playing the slug game here, as we do see Sky once again being picked up in the background. Stasi, do you know what the meaning of insanity is?
Yeah, it's doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But you know, I think it's absolutely fine because he knows what he's doing here. Exactly, you get that quick down. All you need is that one quick down, and you're putting the pressure on, and he's heading right back. And I think Dog just might be a little bit too slow to keep up with all the pressure because it doesn't really matter where Lucky Boy goes here. There's really nowhere for him to escape to. Yeah, we're not going to be chasing Dog. We're definitely going to be chasing Lucky Boy. If we can go for a dodge, that would be huge, but we need to really get 2 or 3 to get any value in a reset onto Sky. It looks like we will get the 1, though. I can't quite see what's happening because the screen froze for a bit, but Lucky Boy is dragging out this chase a little bit. Hopefully we see Sky get up. We do, and we do see the down, and we're going to get the comm as well. That we're not going to be going back, so we are going to see Sky reset in the background. This is huge. Having the medkit and being able to reset yourself is a massive, massive bonus. This allows Dog to keep on playing aggressively. We do know that Shaq is probably at 0 actually, because it's been regressing for a really, really long time. So it's probably regressed all the way back down to nothing. And we see that Sky has been reset in the background. The question is, do we know whether it's with a medkit or with the normal heal? We do see Dog coming in for the save. Dog has been playing very, very effectively this game. But all 3 survivors actually, especially Dog and Sky, have been playing extremely, extremely well. So we're going to have to really lock in to get the final stretch of this game done as we rotate towards 2 there to check on the gen. And yeah, we just heard Shaq, and Shaq is back to nothing, unfortunately. Okay, so we will continue this game into the 9 part of the map. As we see, Lucky actually hasn't been unhooked yet. We will be chilling for just a little bit longer. Sky does have a gen that's 30. Wow, I thought that Shaq gen was way, way less. And it looks like we are going to continue, though. We don't even care as well. We're not even going to it. The SB player just sitting on the Shaq gen. We don't mind. Hello? We're going to be going towards... All right, nice. Good shit, man. We're going to be going towards 6. Sorry, we're going to be going towards 12 here as we get a very, very nice down, and we will continue this towards the end game as we're going to see that Sky is going to be getting that gen to about 60 before we see the unhook coming through. And Pop isn't going to do anything for us anymore. Pop Goes the Weasel has now become completely useless because we need to defend the Shaq gen. What? We have another kick, bro? What am I watching? Like, there's been like 16 kicks on this channel. That's got to be the last one. That's got to be the last kick. Anyway, sure. So that'll be the last pop value we get. Yeah, surely that's the last pop. For apologies, I think I bumped my mic or something and unplugged it. I don't know what happened there. It just didn't want to work for a little bit. Apologies. But I think it's working now, hopefully. And a fantastic transform on top of Sky here. We do get with the Hellfire, which probably shouldn't have hit. That looked a little bit illegal. But we do continue on with the Bat Bomb to try and catch up here. And a bit of a double back from Sky, but I don't think JD is going to be easily fooled as he does switch into Wolf form here. And we'll luckily be able to get a pounce onto Sky here. But no, with a nice little dodge, Sky does buy a little bit more time as he rotates around this little junk tile here. But no power to be seen. He's just going to have to die deep 6. We transform back into Dracula mode with our Hellfire. We don't have an edge map powder, I believe. I think it's already been
used. No, it is down, but we get the M1 successfully despite the fake. We are slugging Sky once more as we rotate back over once more for the 8th time this match to Shaq, trying to see if we can get another kick on the gen. I don't think he's going to be able to kick it anymore. I'd be shocked if he is able to kick it, I'll be honest, but a really great stuff from Dog there. And it looks like we're somewhat splitting pressure here as we are working this other generator that's a little bit further away from the Shack as well, which is good to see. We do see Lucky Boy stealthing by the broken bus here, but Sky nearly up here, as we do see on the HUD there. Dog is going for the pickup, so Sky once again back in the game. Everyone, I think, has been hooked at least once, so it doesn't matter if there's any bleed outs, as you will still get full points, as he's already been hooked. But we do find a stealth out from Dog in wolf form, thankfully. We might be able to get this pounce if we do it correctly, but no, JD missing that wolf pounce. But I think with enough recovery, we're going to be able to get an M1. Anyway, we do have a pallet here at this sort of truck filler tile, but I do wonder if Dog is going to attempt to play it, if he just rotates away over to this broken bus, and he's opting to just leave Dog and go back to his generators. JD is dead set on this 4K1, and he has to play it with a lot of carefulness. He can't commit to a chase for too long, because that could buy Renewal enough time to do a generator, as we do focus our kicks more on that generator. We're not too concerned about Shaq anymore, but we do find some lingering scratch marks here, as we do find Lucky Boy at the edge map by 12 here. We do have an edge map powered that we're going to get stuck on and go down there. It's looking a little bit grim for Renewal Stars here. I don't know if we're going to be seeing any outs, but we might be seeing a 4K0.
Bleedout are putting up a great fight, as you were just about to say. The final gen of the generator, the final gen of the generator. All right, come on, lock in. The final gen of the trial has just procced, and we do see Lucky Boy does go off into the Sky. That is going to be 2 survivors down, 2 to go. Sky will be stealthing up towards the 2 gate, as I assume Dog might be screening for the 6 gate. You can play a little bit more aggressive because he's healthy, and I think that's what you're going to need to do here, because you're going to be a little bit protective of Sky as they try and get out, and yeah, we're just going to be hard stealthing here. And that's exactly right. Dog is down near 6, and look, we have seen him only for a glimpse, though. Maybe we actually didn't catch... We didn't catch it. We did see him on our camera for just a millisecond. Unfortunately, though, JD was not locked in enough to really notice it, and we do see that Sky is working on this top gen. This is a good call by Sky. SB does get us very, very far away, and JD will be heading back to see if we can get a little bit of a catch onto Dog here. We do see that this is already 75. We actually might be able to get out here with this. It will be close. We're going to screen ourselves back down, because we know that we're not going to be able to catch Dog here. Instead, we offer Sky. If we can just swap the camera back. Yes, very nice. We do see the Sky is stuck at Shaq here. He's stuck on the top side of Shaq as well. This is going to be a very, very awkward escape. Dog could come in for a hit take here, but I probably wouldn't be too keen to see it. But no, we might be in a little bit of an awkward spot. Can we make our way down towards bottom? It looks like that's what we're going to try to do. We need Dog immediately, but we might just take the down, and this might just be the 3 out, or the 1 out.
Yeah, I'd say he'd be able to take a hit, but we do have Hellfire here. This relies on JD missing his Hellfire, but Dog doing a fantastic job body blocking. But no, the Hellfire will be coming into contact onto Sky, and Dog not really able to do much other than buy a bit of time, maybe try and get a dead hard, but no, the dead hard not coming through, as we do get the kill onto Sky here. I believe Dog was still 2 stages, so this was a 4 fresh 10 stage result here from JD on the Dark Lord, which... Yeah, I was about to say, we've got a bit of an esoteric set of add-ons and perks here. We have the Traveler's Hat there. I'm not too sure if that's normal. We also saw a pre-drop that I don't know if Mo was paying attention to or not. Maybe he thinks it's a bit of a bait, and is rotating over to Ace here, who is LV Duck, who might be our Stain Hellfire from Mo. Very well played to start things off with. We might even be able to get a little bit of a 2-tap on the Duck here. What a great way to start the match from Mo. That's a very quick down. That Corrupt may as well not have been equipped. But we do, as I was saying, we have Ruin and Undying, which, fair enough, you get a bit of passive slowdown, as well as Surveillance there. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Surveillance, it is a perk that just sort of makes the gens change color when they are being worked on versus when they're not being worked on. So it just lets you know when people are working on the gens, basically. But a fantastic start from Mo, and it's spelling a bit of trouble for Bleedouts already. But to be fair, JD also had a similar start when he was playing for Bleedouts on the killer side. He got a very quick down onto Mia there, but then Mia was able to bring it back with some longer chases in the last 2 chases, and then Renewal were able to play a very comfortable 1v3 later in the game, which is great for them. But we're going into dog form here as we head down to 6. Now we see in the background there, those 2 gens went from white to yellow, which does mean they're being worked on from Surveillance. Unfortunately, Mo not able to find out Jazz stealthing by these ties here, as we see both JD and Fat working 2 different generators here. here, and Mo seems very comfortable in just camping this and going for a little bit of a trade. And that will be a quick little trade from Jazz onto Duck here. Jazz maybe being our Deliverance player. Not very happy to just take that hook, maybe get that Deliverance out nice and early. Jazz is indeed our Deli player, also our Dead Hard player, which is super interesting as we did see Mo turn to bat form there to try and find Ducking and secure a tunnel out here.
Yeah, I'm looking at Duck's build here, and I'm not sure I see too much value in it, to be honest. I know we've got Overzealous and Inner Strength, which is a decent combo, but I think they've just got the I Drew Totems build, but unfortunately the I Drew Totems build is getting kind of destroyed right now because Mo is just absolutely clutching up for the early game. We already have 3 hooks. The game's pretty much barely started, but here hopefully we can see JD do some juicing, but no, we're going to get juiced instead as JD will be taking a hook and heading towards 9 here. We're going to head towards shallow 9. No, we're heading towards deep. We do make the vault here, only just. And we actually try to screen away from it. It almost works here. Can we get away from the Hellfire? We can. Very nice sidestep from JD, who will be able to escape here, forcing Mo to head back to the bottom and protect the hook onto LV Duck. And, it's a real shame as well because LV Duck is the totem build. And unfortunately, we've got a Ruin and Undying here and won't be able to make too much use out of it. As we see that one of the Ruin and Undying are actually both at 2 and 4. So they should both be in pretty reasonable spots to pop. 4 is actually facing the edge map, I think, so might be a little bit difficult there, but here we do hear the fan right in our ears, which that is super awesome, and we're going to see LV Duck does die on the hook. That is going to be a very, very aggressive start for Mo here, just absolutely putting the pressure on the board. Hopefully we're able to see the reset onto Jazz in the background. We did get 2 gen stuns, so maybe we can fight for a high stage game. It's going to be really difficult with how he's playing so far. Jazz already has lost Deli. Actually, that's a really good point as well. Deli's already gone, so it's going to be very, very difficult to fight with what we have left.
Yeah, very unfortunate, and we do take the chase to the Jazz here, who is going to be on their death hook if we do get this down relatively quickly. Again, a shame that we saw Duck go out, because he did have Overzealous, which, when you actually cleanse a Hex Totem, it doubles its value and gets a 20% speed increase. We do also get the tag onto Fat, which is fantastic, but he's going to be taking the chase down towards the 6 area where we did just kill Duck, but with a cheeky little back form, we see another gen pop in the background there. I think Mo here is going to be able to get a very comfortable Hellfire onto him. Unfortunately, no missing that flick, which is a shame from Mo here. He's going to be going to Warform instead, getting a quick little speed boost and a bit of a misplay there from Fat, which is unfortunate, but we're just going to be going for the slug and then interrupting the gen like it's getting down, letting it regress a little bit with Ruin. Oh, Jazz with a very fantastic sidestep there, getting the stun onto Mo and buying a ton of distance there. I do wonder if we need to go for the pick up of the Fat. I don't think he's our Unbreak player. I think Duck was actually our Unbreak player, so we don't need to worry about that, but we're going to be securing our fresh hook anyway here. No pop or painters to be made here. We're probably just going to be hooking him right next to this active generator here, which is a very unfortunate hook. It's next to one of our runes as well, as we do see JD working that check gen in the middle, but it looks like Mo's on his merry little way to put a stop to that, as no, he's actually checking a different generator, as we see Jazz lurking by one of the other Hex Totems there. But we do find Aurella Rose here, who is very quiet, by the way. If you're ever thinking about doing a Spirit Side, I'd recommend bringing in Aurella Rose with you, but we do get a very nice dodge there, very nice dog dash, I should say, sorry, onto JD there. Mo using his bat form to head on back to the hook and potentially try and get a little bit of a cheeky down again onto Jazz, but no, we do find Jazz here, who is healthy, my apologies, but we should be able to get a nice comfortable injury, as we do have all 3 survivors injured, which is fantastic work for Mo. He might even be able to snowball this really comfortably and go for a 3-man slug and secure a 4K 1/2 here, but that remains to be seen, Stasi.
Yeah, I was thinking that if Bleedouts have any chance on any of the sets, it was going to be the Dark Lord set. And unfortunately, it is just all falling apart. This very unique build is really starting to do us wonders, as we still have Ruin and Undying in the game. If they were able to get clutched early, that would have been huge. That would have been a massive, massive win. But unfortunately, Mo's just been playing absolutely crazy. And looks like we do find our survivor. Dude, what am I watching? Like, come on, what was that? We see the down onto that is Molan ran there. And yeah, a very, very strong, very, very strong power there from Mo. I mean, look, I know the power's delayed, but that just looked absolutely crazy. So very strong down. And we do have one survivor left. JD is injured, and this is going to be very, very difficult for us to really act on anything because JD is just going to be too out of position to really get the assistance onto Jazz here. Unfortunately, we don't find them, though. We can just get the spectator to quickly swap to JD real quick so we can see where we're stealthing. We will be able to... Okay, or not. Oh, no. Yeah, there we go. Okay, already going for the unhook.
Yeah, quick unhook onto Kate here. I believe Kate does have Renewal, so she's going to be healthy real quick, smart, which is fantastic. But yeah, disgusting show of flair there from Mo. Kind of shitting all over Fat, which is a shame for them. But yeah, Ruin doing massive work there in the background as Mo's very comfortably just sort of floating around his totems and between his resources here. But we do get a little bit of a dog dash. Oh, unfortunately missing it onto JD. As he does make it over to this sort of, I think it's a 4 lane. But no, opportunity to drop the chase into JD instead of rotating back over to Shaq, where we will have Kate here, who was healthy, going to be able to potentially get a bit of a Hellfire 2-tap, but no, being very patient with it. We do get the Hellfire tag onto Kate, which does buy us a ton of time, but we get a follow-up M1, and we do get a follow-up M1 there onto Fat, who will probably also find his merry little way into the basement, unless Mo does feel like going for a bit of a slugfest, but JD is just stealthing up the map here to where a generator is already done. I'm expecting maybe a reset to come in from Jazz, as we might see him rotating over to there to get a reset, or he's just looking for a save, as Jazz is kind of on the other side of the map.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to convert this to a 2v1 as well. And to be completely honest, I would have been absolutely fine if we saw the slug race. We had 2 survivors, they're both injured. Unbreak is out of the game. We don't necessarily know that it is, but we've got a pretty good indication that it would have already been dumped out of the game. So we will be looking towards 3 instead to find a survivor. We do see scratch marks as well at 3. So it looks like we might be a very, very quick chase here as we are following very tightly behind JD, but we do make this nice vault here, and we will be able to get a bit of a longer chase. Hopefully, maybe we can fight for a 4k1. Technically, it is still winnable, but I don't think we're going to see the survivors pop the last 2 gens, as JD will be able to make it around this pallet again. Very, very close, actually, to getting hit there, but just able to buy just enough time. JD going on a little bit of a juicer, but we do see the down does finally come through, and Jazz will be working on this gen down near 7. But unfortunately with Ruin, that's just going to be shoved right back down to nothing. And this is just Mo's game in the bag. And the fact that this is Bleedout set as well, the Dark Lord. Look, Renewal is a very strong team. 100% confident. We're going to see them in Seed 1. We're going to see them in the finals. Definitely, I think they'll be able to get through the first set of rounds as well. I think Renewal is honestly just, out of 20 teams, they're definitely one of the top contenders to take out the crown.
Yeah, they're very much up there, Stars. They're a really strong, competent team, as Mo and also the Survivors were showing last game. I'm keen to see... Now, Oni was their pick. Oni's on a bit of an experimental different map there on the Dead Sands, which is a bit more bold than Wreckers, but we do find Jazz here at the edge of the map, going for a little bit more of a flare, but unfortunately not coming through onto Jazz, as he's just playing around the tower. I do wonder if Mo's just going to stand here and wait for his Hellfire to do that again. He is. He's doing that again. Okay. He's trying to go for a little bit of a flare, but Jazz is just going to use this opportunity to leave the tile, unfortunately, not letting Mo stunt on him. He's just going to be rotating over here. I dare say he's just going to get M1 before he exits this pallet, though, unless he just pulls up Hellfire, which he does, but Jazz being very patient here. We're holding our Hellfire for about an eternity. Mo, unfortunately, missing it there. I think it might be wise to just go into dog form and just get this pallet down and then play around a potential dash, but Mo thinking it out a little bit, but no, Jazz does get hit through that pallet there, unfortunately, and that will result in a 4k2 going towards the side of Renewal, and they will take the Dark Lord set over Bleedouts. Very, very unfortunate for Bleedout, Starzy.
Imagine if Jazz had that chase at the start of the game. I mean, it wasn't absolutely crazy, but it was definitely a solid chase. Could have bought a decent amount of time.
And an extra 5% on top of that for each existing totem. We also got the Splintered Hull and the the Lion's Tooth there for a bit more blood, and also I think it's Dragon's... Is the tooth speed or duration, Starzy?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Look, you're the killer main, mate. You're the one who's always playing. Oh, Jazz, Jesus Christ. Alright, that's a pretty bad start for Jazz. Unfortunately, does give the first M1 almost straight away. I think it's duration. I'm pretty sure the Fang is duration, from what I know. Yep, see, I was right, it was duration. Okay. But yeah, we are going to see Jazz continue this first chase. I've actually never seen this map, so I don't even know what the callouts are now. I saw Shaq down the bottom, so I'm going to assume that we're at 2 here. So we're going to be rotating the chase towards 1, and it looks like we're going to leave instead, but this has been a great start for Mo. The fact that we're able to get a first hit pretty much straight away is exactly what you want, and we do have the 3 totem build, Penti, Ruin, and Undying, so that is going to be a very, very strong start for us. And what I was actually going to say when we started was, if, you know, we might be a better Oni on this side. We might have a better Oni player. But if we're able to avoid those M1s, then that kind of negates that, right? Because it still is an M1 killer until we actually start getting the power. And unfortunately, Jazz did give a hit very, very early, and that did not occur. But we do see both the Ruin and the Undying are already popped. So Penty is waiting to go. But this does get 2 perks out of the way. Corrupt's gone as well. So now we are only relying on Pentimento, which at the current time is disabled.
Yeah, Pentimento Andy going in strong. He's holding his power, looking for a preferably fresh survivor here. Dead Sands is an interesting map. It's a similar sort of configuration to Wrecker's Yard, except with the Eerie of Crows tile set. I don't think it's as big as Wrecker's Yard, but it does have probably individually some stronger loops. We have some interesting jungle gems that can spawn 2 pallets and a window in them, as well as some pretty decent rock fillers like this one here. That's not terrible. They're a lot taller than usual. We also have those double pallets tiles that you also see on Greenville, although the double pallets that can spawn on the Forsaken Boneyard are significantly stronger than the ones on Greenville, as they're actually like decent pallets. Once one side's dropped, it's not like that one on Greenville where it's just like a tree on one side, a little palm tree. But playing very patiently here with our power, we do catch the sight of someone, I don't know who yet, as we do pop our power immediately there. And we're going to go in on, I think this is Nancy. It is Nancy. Nancy is going to be dying immediately as we do see a reset come through onto Jazz. But we spent so long holding our power there, there's probably a good supply of blood stored somewhere on the map. We just need to find where that reset happened. I think we're having a pretty happy day here now. This is going to be a basement down, as Jack is very centralized on this map. We're not using our Pentimento just yet. I think Mo's probably waiting for a position where there's a lot more pressure being applied on the survivors, where they maybe can't tackle those Pentimento totems, like when there's a hook, for example, just saying, as we do see that first Pentimento totem coming through. Now, keep in mind, this is rewrote Pentimento, so of course it's only 15%, not the old 30. He was not able to get the 30 this match. The highest he can go is 20, as he will slide his second totem here, which will be the 20%. And we saw the reset apparently happening on top of where the Pentimento would have been. We do get our power here. Now we can safely sort of proxy this map here. Bleedout's also somewhat learning from their mistakes as well, and getting that Ruin and dying out nice and early. The Ruin doing a lot of damage to the survivors in the last match on the Dark Lord, but they've learned their mistakes and then identified the Ruin and dying super early, and they've gone out of the way immediately. But it's come back to bite them in some way with Pentimento now being active. No one really going for the Pentimento, as we do see 2 survivors working generators, and Duck is sort of stealthing towards Shaq here for a potential trade. Mo playing the hook very close to his chest. A super early down on Oni is exactly what you want to see, as Oni generally like a pretty average stage killer. I don't know what you expect on Dead Sands, but on Wrecker's Yard he's probably like 6 to 8 stages, would you say, Stasi?
I have no idea. I've literally never seen this map. I have no idea what to expect. And I mean, this is entirely new balancing as well. So we could see absolutely anything. I would say that 6 to 8 is reasonable, but to say that I know is just not true. And the fact that we still have 5 gens at this point as well, I mean, my God, we are not pumping the gens. Unfortunately, we do have a bit of a sprint burst game in here. LB Ducky is able to buy some time, actually able to get around as well. I think we might just make this. Oh, it was really close. A little bit too tightly, and LB Duck is able to get away with it, and we will be heading up towards this corner, which I do believe is the 5 corner. So LB Duck able to buy a bit of time, does get this drop for free, and actually gets the blind as well, so we will be able to get a little bit of distance. Hopefully we can get away. This is going to be half of the power gone. Unfortunately, we do see the down onto LB Duck, but that was a solid run. There were 2 pallets that were dropped there, so very, very solid. And we are going to be following someone's crash box here. This is going to be Fat, also known as Merlin Ran here. We will be going down, unfortunately. And that is going to be a very, very easy tunnel out. And LV Duck on the floor. And that is exactly how you make use of the Oni power. That is just exactly what you want. You get an instant down, you find someone else. And the fact that you're able to move that fast is just so much value. And that's going to be our 3rd hook of the game. And also the 3rd hook onto our Nancy. So that will be the first survivor who has been tunneled out. However, we have popped 2 gens in the background for that chase. So we will be able to put a little bit of pressure on the board. And this gen is setting at about 40 as well. So the survivors haven't been doing nothing. They are starting to pump things along. Unfortunately, they really need to kick it up a gear, as this is going to be a very, very tough game. And we're going to be fighting for a really difficult win con if things go downhill from here.
Yeah, we do find Duck there as we do sort of shadow him and collect some blood. We apply a bit of dry kicks to a couple of gens. We still have that Pentimento totem active in the background. We haven't even updated our second one yet. That tunnel out onto the Nancy was really good for our killer play here. We do see finally the other Pentimento getting cleansed, but Mo already in position to get that second Pentimento totem going. I'm sure that they're fully aware where that Pentimento was just lit, but it's going to bite into a lot of time for the survivors here as we're still shadowing Duck, and we do find where he is. Cammy, this little power out here as we do get a cheeky little blind and a stun. I do wonder if he maybe pops power onto Duck here. He has a lot of resources here, and also in that previous chase, as we saw on the timeline, Duration did do a giant boon for Mo here. So we see a bit of a trying to 99 hour sprint burst, not quite getting it, unfortunate for Duck there, as once again we go for the slug. Mo changing his mind, they're going back for the getting the hook onto this Duck just to secure that fresh hook there, as we're going to be likely walking around with our power in our hand, looking for either JD or Jazz, who will be cranking motors in the background at 15% slower penalty due to the Pentimento totem that is active. We don't see many active gens here. Probably the ones over here. We hear one to our left that's decently progressed. And potentially this one here is probably the highest progress one. It is very high progress. So I think Mo might even just look around this area and try and find who was working this generator here and where did they stealth. Because honestly, they could have pre-left ages ago or they could have done it very, very recently. But Mo can't really afford the time sink to actually looking around for the stealth there. And is more confident to just sort of rotate over back to Duck and see if he can get his tunnel out here onto Duck.
Yeah, alright, well, did lose stand for a bit there. We are going to be heading back down towards the bottom here. We do see a survivor just stealthing for a second in the background. We did see someone for just a little smidge. I do believe this is LV Duck, who will be taking a very quick down. To get a bit of an FOV tech there, did not end up working out, and this is going to be another very, very quick hook onto LV Duck. Pentimento still up as well, causing some havoc in the background, and this is going to be some free blood as well, as we've been here for just a little bit too long, and that is just going to be the freest blood. Oh no, we're one orb short, unfortunately. I don't think we would have popped it straight away, but we are going to be one orb short. However, the map has a fair bit of blood, so we definitely should be able to find something pretty quickly, and exactly, Mo was completely locked in on where it was, and now we're going to head back down to the actives. But we see it, oh look, happening in the background on JD or Jazz has gone for that, and we do see the power proc as well. So Mo will be heading straight back to see if we can cut our survivors off. We do see Jazz stealthing here, and we do see JD, who was on the final gen. LV Duck hoping to go for a bit of a crazy chase here. We do have access to sprint burst. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to make it too far, as we have more of this right on top of us, and we're going to be taking a very quick gen. This is right under a hook as well, so this is just going to be an instant hook, and that is going to be LV Duck, who is unfortunately out of the game there. So good effort, but it was not enough. And this 4K3 is starting to look like that's definitely going to be happening. We could stop this JD gen, but no, we're going to choose the chase onto Jazz instead.
We are going to be taking the chase on the Jazz here. I don't think we're going to be able to get that down. Thankfully, just to eating the powder instead. We did see JD working a very close gen in the background there as it does finally pop. So it's looking more like a 4K2. Jazz vaulting directly into Mr. Yamoka's arms very comfortably. And he's just going for the pick here. We have a good bit of blood in the environment. We saw that Duck did leave a good bit of blood there in the background. So I think Mo's very comfortable just getting the hook there, taking a couple blood orbs and then rotating over to where he saw those blood orbs previously. Pentimento also in the background here, so if JD is working a generator somewhere, it's going to be taking a long, long time, as yes, Mo is coming back to this little blood bank that he has stored over here from Duck, as he does have his power here, so if he does manage to find JD, it's going to spell poor tidings for him. But I do wonder if we're just going to do a hard stealth for JD, have Jazz die on hook maybe, and then try and play around either a door or hatch scenario there for JD, but I don't know, this map is so small, and the doors, we have one there that we can see. I don't know if you can even stop the doors here reasonably on this map, or if it's looking a little bit too grim. But yeah, I think Mo very, very comfortably just sort of proxying these generators, making sure none of them gets done. He's trying to play around his 4K2 result. Already pre-checking the doors here to see if anyone's sort of waiting for the doors, but no, we see the unhook come through onto Jazz as he rotates back over to the unhook, preferably finding JD, because if he does find JD, he can get the down with his power, and then that way he can sort of find Jazz more reliably, and we do find JD in the shack here, so we're going to be popping power and trying to get a cheeky Oni down real quick, and then maybe even slugging to try and find Jazz, but oh, the flick not quite connecting there, as JD does barely make the window, but oh, interestingly enough, Mo does leave JD and rotates over to where Duck might be, but changing his mind, switching it up a bit, and going back over to JD, trying to see if he can get this down here. But I think JD might be long gone. But no, we see some lingering scratches. We still have Shaq powered up, finally getting dropped very late into the game. This might have been good to use a little bit earlier, but he's still got half his power left thanks to the duration add-on. We do see a pre-drop coming through here. No, we are going to be getting stunned instead on one of these rock fills. I can't tell if this is a double pallet or not. It's a bit hard to tell here, but JD is going to be trying to play the pallet to the best of his ability. Unfortunately, Mo hitting a rock instead of JD's head. He's got a teensy bit of his power left. I don't know if he has enough power to down JD here. He does have another pallet available to him. This is one of those deadly double power loops that I was talking about earlier. That's actually pretty decent, but we have a tiny bit of power left. Unfortunately, missing it there as we do run out of power and get stunned out of it. JD's having a miracle chase here, Stasi.
Let's say, shout out JD, just ran out the entire Oni power there. Very, very well played. Able to keep this game alive, buy Jazz some time to do generators in the background, exactly what you need. And unfortunately, Penty is still up, so we're likely not going to see another gem block, but we do see some scratches here as we're going to find Jazz, who has been progressing this gen fairly aggressively. We do see it at about 50%, so they would have been on it for quite a while. And we are going to go back towards them. We'll see if we can find JD again. If we could get a quick down onto JD, this is just a secured win. But we really want to avoid a 4K1 because a 4K1 makes it so much easier to fight for a Tycon. The difference between 4K2, 4K1, or 4K2, 4K3, absolutely massive. So the fact that they were able to pop that third gen, great, but they need to go for 4. We need to try and secure a 4K1. It's the only way we're going to be able to fight for a tie, because then they're going to have to get stages out the door. But we do see that Mo does have their power right back to them, and Penty still up with 1 stack as well. I don't think we're really going to see it done this game. I don't think that's on the Survivors' minds. We'll just quickly swap to the Survivors to see what they're up to, because they have been stealthing for quite a while. But no, we actually do see the Penty stack as well. We actually see it go in the background, and this is going to be JD who to be taking the next chase. Doesn't have as much resources to work with, but let's see how we go.
You're only chewing through those double pallets once more. But JD has probably a couple pallets here. Mo kind of getting stuck on a rock a little bit, trying to play around the weak collision here on the dead sands as JD is just running around this rock trying to make the best of the bad situation. But a bit of a crash. I don't think it's going to work out for him. He's just going to get smacked on the noggin there as we do see JD finally go down. I am curious to see if Mo goes for the slug. No, he is going for the pick as JD is fresh. The good news is Jazz is slugged, so he can use the blood orbs to try and track Jazz's location here. I believe the most generator is also right next to JD's hook, so we can dry kick that as well and rotate away, trying to find Jazz. We know they were roughly around where Pentimento was, as you did say. Stars, you did get cleansed on the background. Mo is going to be just collecting the blood orbs, getting enough power juice in his hand there, holding it, trying to look for Jazz, not really comfortable using it for a little bit of mobility. It's generally a poor form idea to try and use only powerful mobility, as it kind of just gives all the survivors on the map the signal to go, okay guys, hop in lockers and stealth my power, because you're just going to hide while I use it, and then I'll be an M1 killer again. So Mo just holding his power, trying to scan the area for Jazz if he's out of position somewhere, but it's going to be really hard to identify Jazz as he has so many objects around to hide. But this area is a little bit bound with crows, so he could be nearby. But no, we do see the unhook coming in from JD. So Mo's going to be rotating back over to the hook here, popping his power here. He does see someone, I think, red heading over to the shack. I'm not sure if that was JD or Jazz, but we're going to opt to instead chase whoever this is at the jungle gym. I believe this is Jazz, with a very clean fast vault there as he tries to make his way to somewhere where there is resources. I don't know if there's a pallet or not in this loop, and there is, but he gets that down onto Jazz before he's able to throw the pallet. Fantastic play from Mo, and he knows roughly where JD is as well. He has enough power in his hand here to rotate over to this generator as well, try and find JD. We see some lingering blood. This could be it. This is going to be a 4K2 for Mo, setting up a great match for his survivors as we do secure the second down onto JD here. No unbreakables. This is an A tier killer, not an S tier killer. So that would be a 4K2 on the side of Renewal, setting up a massive win con for Bleedout's killer, which I don't know if you're going to get a 4K2 tie against Renewal survivors, Stasi.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one to fight for, but we will be back with you guys in just a few minutes as we set up for the second half of our Oni set. You're going to have to really lock in. We do see the much more standard build, which is going to be Agi actually as well. We're going to see Eruption, Scourge of Pain Res, and Corrupt. So hopefully we're not going to see too much gen pressure early. Gives us enough time to have a decent chase. But JD will be screening for the first survivor in the match here. And hopefully we're able to get a quick hit. If we're able to maybe play around ping a little, we might be able to get a first sneaky hit in there. But we'll just have to see what he can pull out here as JD will be screening. Now right at the edge map as well. If he is able to find someone here, that would be a massive find, as we see that Mia is the only person who's actually gotten onto a gen at this point. The others playing a little bit more slowly, just getting into good positions before they actually get onto generators.
I honest to God thought agitation was supposed to be universally banned, but maybe there was something that was in talks not actually coming through. But anyway, we're taking the first chase into Lucky Boy here as JD uses the Jedi mind tricks to make him drop the pallet and then rotates away off of Lucky Boy, who I think we were talking before in the VC that Lucky Boy is playing on 300 ping, so maybe that would have been a good chase to take if you're the Oni, but we do find someone else. We find Dog here on Mr. Gabriel Soma. Ooh, he's going to get a nice early tag onto Dog here, as he does unfortunately get a late stun there onto the Oni, but he's able to rotate all the way down to Shaq here, as we would likely seeing it drop it very early, but no, JD very happy to just kick a gen, apply his eruption, rotate away. Renewal very much on those generators almost immediately there, but Dog playing around the Shack to the best of his ability. Only nowhere to be seen, actually, as he's instead interrupting this high progress generator that Lucky Boy is working as he's planning to play around this L tier 1. Not exactly the best place to be if you're against an Oni. Oh yeah, JD is hot on his tail, but I don't think he's able to make it in time. He might just barely make a pallet here if Lucky Boy plays very safe, and he does, but JD unfortunately not able to get that mind game in, and he is just forced to break the pallet and rotate over to the Shack generator here now. We do have a more conventional build, as you said, Starzy. We got the eruption, we got the agitation, our pain res, our corrupt intervention. But we also have a lot of high progress gens. No downs coming through. We see a reset coming through on Dog. We didn't shadow Dog to get our power back or anything, so we're kind of just an M1 killer at this moment, and this is not the kind of momentum you want to see if you're playing around a 4K2 Tycon, Starzy.
No, you're exactly right. And the survivors have done exactly what they should. They've done a 3 split, and honestly, it's putting so much pressure on JD right now. He's barely able to keep up, and I'd be shocked if he was able to come back. This would just be a god-worthy game, but I don't think we're going to see it, as we do see Sky almost get into chase here, but actually is able to escape. Oh no, we do see Sky. Are we going to continue the chase here? This is our live player, lightweight actually. Just saw lightweight on the builds. Can't say I see that too much, but there you go. So we do see JD looking around here, and does see this little yellow gem that's actually watching in the background. That is going to be our eruption, letting us know that's ready to go. Unfortunately, we need to get some downs to get eruption to work, and we're playing a little bit too slowly to really make that work, as we get a free hit onto this generator and see a survivor rotating towards this edge jungle gym. And we find Mia, who is in a very nice position right now, can easily make this pallet. And we do see we don't see the drop coming through. And honestly, good shout by Mia, just completely read JD as he was heading away, went straight for the orbs, and it's now gone. And looks like we are going to see if we can find a survivor out of position and hopefully get a quick down, as we see. That's exactly what happened in the background. Didn't even see what happened, no! But Lucky Boy does take the down there. And that is very, very solid, very solid first down by JD. Able to get some pressure on the ball. Oh my god, look at that visual clash, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that does happen because of when the killer has max FOV. It sort of shows where their camera is and it stretches the skin back, so that just sort of tells you that JD's playing on max FOV. We do finally find some lingering bug there that was left over from Dog, and able to get our power and then a quick down onto Lucky Boy there, who was stealthing at edge map, which is a bit unfortunate. We see a very quick pull though coming through here. Eruption would have done a big number on these generators, but we have so many gens that are such high progress, and normally I'd say, you know, popping your power so proactively is a bad decision, because it just means the survivors will stealth, but Renewal not doing a great job of stealthing, as we did find Lucky Boy relatively early, and we go for the kick on the generator to apply our eruption. We did use a pain res token as well there onto Lucky Boy, reset coming through onto Lucky Boy as well there, so we don't have any blood being made, so we kind of have to get down with this power usage, and if we don't, it's bad news bears for JD, but I'm curious to see if he's able to find anyone stealthing. He is checking the edge map, but if you're Renewal, you might even just hop locker, call it a day, chill out for a bit, play some Clash of Clans, check Twitter, you never know. But we did find Mia lurking in these next to these rocks here with a very nice down and another eruption taking place across all the generators that he just kicked. That's a very, very lucky find for JD, and a giant kick in the nuts for Renewal survivors as we see Painers coming through there. The more standard build definitely doing a number on these generators in the early game, but once we run out of these Painers tokens and we can't kick these gens anymore for eruption, it's like, well, we're not getting any tunnel outs. You know, you got 4 survivors on the board. I think they can just play it super casually and pop 4 gens, and then they're good to go. They take the series 2-0, and I just don't know how JD sort of comes back from this, Starzy.
No, unfortunately, it is similar to the last game where It is a while until we see the first generator of the trial actually proccing, but I don't think it matters because we've seen all of the pressure that's been on the board, and honestly, JD is struggling to keep up at this point. I'm surprised that we actually haven't seen it pop, but when it does happen, we're going to see quite a few, and we're just going to see it completely fall apart. So yeah, JD is battling a very, very uphill battle right now, and we will be chasing Sky, who has been doing very, very well these games today. And good read by Sky, actually. He's able to avoid the hit there, and that's definitely what you want, as that would definitely give us our power, or very, very close to it. So we do see Sky heading towards this filler as well. Gets another good read. Man, on ping, this guy's a little bit crazy. Does give the first hit, finally splintered hole, giving us a little bit of extra value as well. And we will be able to get our power back. Unfortunately, though, are we going to see the first generator of the trial rocking in the background? It doesn't look like it's just yet, though. It must be very, very close. And there it is. It finally happens.
Oh, and we do find Dog a little bit out of position. This is another fresh hook, I believe. I am curious to see if he goes to pick up on the Dog and gets a pain res. No, he's opting to slug there with his added duration, I believe, and rotate away, trying to drop these other generators that are decently high progress. Now, if we can get a good value out of this... Oh, we do get blinded by the Cracker! Very fantastic Cracker from Mia there as we do chase onto the Embo. I don't know where they are. They are at a pallet here, pre-dropping that, but... Oh, a bit of patience from Mia, and that's going to mean that she's very nice and safe at this pallet here, but rotates away from it very nice and quick smart. This is going to give them the window as well. I am curious to see if JD, he's got a little bit of power left. He needs to get this power down ASAP. Mia is here, but no, doesn't take the vault. Instead, JD missing the power. I am curious to see if he uses this last dash, a last attempt at a down, but no, we're out of power, and with that we see Dog getting picked up and fully reset in the background. It's not looking good for JD. We got to be greedy, and it didn't pay off. Mia taking chase here. We need to try and get a tag as quick as possible. We can hear all the gens in the background just slowly creeping up to the completion stage, but we don't have a great tile here, and we are on ping, so we might be able to get a juicy little M1 onto Mia and get our power going again, and we do, but we also get stunned for it as another gen pops in the background there. We need to get this down very quick, unless, no, we drop the chase. Are we dropping the chase? We're being a bit indecisive here. We're not dropping the chase. We're committing to Mia here. Shack Pallet is still up, so she can play around the Shack Pallet to the best of her ability, but she chooses to just go around the back, but we're interrupting Sky here, who doesn't have any resources, but we have a ton of blood here. Not quite enough to fill up our powers. We do see both these generators decently high progress. Oh, one of them decently high progress anyway. Pretty sure with that power playing super safe. We find a couple more blood orbs, but it's not quite enough for our power. We're just, please sir, just one blood orb, and we do find it. They're very generous, and we do pop our power, see if we can get it down into Sky there and cause an eruption on that generator. Buy ourselves a ton of time. If we can find one of our two pain reses, which I believe is Dog and Guy, and we do see a gen nearly there at completion, but we're at a win column at the moment. Oh, very nice down onto Sky there. I believe there would have been an eruption on that generator as well. As once again, JD getting greedy. I don't know how it's going to play out for him, Starzy.
Yeah, it looks like we are going to go for the instant pick onto Sky as well. And, you know, Mia going absolutely crazy before. Last week, we actually didn't see Mia play. Instead of, for our fourth survivor, it was PZ instead of Mia. And Mia's been going crazy, man. Get Mia on the main roster if they're not already, because they are doing extremely well. We might see a Palestine here as well. Oh, no, we see the miss. And I actually think that was from Mia. I shouldn't have been glazing, unfortunately. But, yeah, no, that was very, very respectful there. And we are able to step away and get a free hook here. So this is going to be some good value. This is going to be Sky's first hook as well, which is definitely going to be... It's not going to be a Scourge, actually. I'm very, very surprised. It looks like we value taking them right towards the gen instead. And we do see another gen that's almost fully procced. And, oh, these spikes are just coming up everywhere. The amount of pressure they're putting on JD is absolutely crazy. It's just a battle of attrition, and it's a battle that the survivors are going to win. They're just 100% going to win it, and they're doing extremely well. They're putting so much pressure on the board, and it's just admirable, because this is easily a top tier team. And a nice drop by Mia actually does buy us a little bit of time, and we get to chain into the other half of the pallet as well. And this is really strong while both are down as well, so we do get away for free here, as we do see Lucky Boy almost done with this generator in the background. Probably could commit to it even if he gets hit, but it doesn't matter because we're not even going to it. And Mia's going to be working on another one that's 80-90% in the background. It's 95 now, and we're just going to keep on smashing these out, and that is going to be a 4K1. This is going to be the win confirmed for Renewal. Massive shout out 2-0.
Yeah, massive 2-0 for Renewal. They're winning both Bleedout's pick and then their own pick of only. You got to be happy with that if you're Renewal. A nice, comfortable set of wins there, but the game's not over yet. JD is still fighting for the best result possible for a little bit of practice and a little bit of flair. 1 gen left. It's probably decently high progress as well, but we did see on the Survivor HUD there that no gens were being worked at that time. So we're probably not actually on the generators, maybe more focused on just confirming our win con here. We see a decently progressed gen here that JD is going to mark with Eruption, but we're just kind of walking around now looking for any stealthy survivors. But while we sort of play out this match, I'll talk about the upcoming game where we will have Sadness versus Echo up next, which will be a pick of Blight for Sadness, followed by a Doctor set, which was Echo's pick, and then if it comes to it, we'll see an unknown tiebreaker. And then to finish off the night, we'll have Gospel versus Clown Crew, which will be Blight pick, and then the Dredge set. And Stars, you'll be playing in the Gospel Crown Crew game, won't you, for Gospel?
Yeah, that's true. Very excited. I did play last week. It was actually my first time playing competitive in over 3 years, so it was pretty cool to get into. Oh my god, oh, Jesus, man, that was risky. So yeah, it was my first time playing competitive in 3 years. So that was very exciting. I actually did it right. I was pretty happy I didn't throw. So to be honest, so I was pretty happy I didn't drop the ball. But then yeah, so oh no, we did check. Okay, it was me that jumped out. But yeah, I'll be on tonight, so I'm very excited to play. Should be a fun game. We've been scrimming a fair bit, so we'll see how we go. But we will be taking another chase. Also, I believe this is Mia that's still here, unless we actually rotated very quickly. No, we didn't. It is going to be Mia, who possibly might be taking the final gen, the final chase before the gen procs, and they will, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be heading all the way up towards the other side of the map to see if we can find another survivor out of position. And at this point, we're just playing for extra stages. Unfortunately, the game is lost, but still, we can put some pressure on the board, get some extra stages, walk out with a bit of a better win.
Yeah, the power's about to run out. We probably got a couple of people on doors there. Mia was ahead on build. I believe she also had Lucky Star, which I think hides the scratch marks after you come out of a locker. So JD might have had a tough time locating her after that because of, you know, lack of scratch marks. We see a door open in the background there, and unfortunately, I think that's just going to be game for JD. Definitely good shout by him. He played around his win con to the best of his ability here. We'll see we're playing for another head-on play, but JD's not having any of it as he does trying to, like, try and get a tag onto Lucky Boy, but no, we do see the head-on coming through, and then all the survivors out the gate there. Oh no, the sandbags! Sandbags coming in on the side of Renewal, trying to get them all down. But no, that'll be them. Done and dusted, but that was a 2-0 in favor of Renewal.